Ahoy, mateys, and welcome back to Out of the Park Baseball in 2024 as we're playing the Pittsburgh Pirates here, seeing who's going to don the eye patch for the 2024 season. And since the last video, I've been able to kind of look at the organization a little bit more and have a better fix on what I'm looking for the rest of this free agency. We'll try and spring training in this video and maybe get a few spring training games out of the way. But one thing I was really looking at between videos was kind of my defensive positioning, and I noticed that if we go back over here, also I hope the mic quality in this one's a little bit better, but let me know in the comments if I sound okay, and if my horrible breathing is taking up all the video audio or something like that. I do have a different microphone. I'm just missing the cord for it right now, so I'll find that later. But if we look over here, Ezekiel Duran can play first base, and his potential is highest there. So I think I'm going to try and play him at first base a lot in spring training and see if I can develop him there a little bit. Jared Triolo is also very, very good. He's going to be could develop into a Gold Glove level first baseman. So I think long term, if he is a long term piece for our organization, Triolo will probably play that position. But I like having the position flexibility here with Ezekiel Duran. So at the end of last video, I felt like I was interested in finding a long-term first baseman. In this one, I think I'm more interested now in finding a long-term center fielder. I think I could play Sawinski there, even though he's better at left or right. I have some other guys who could play left and right. But I noticed when I was kind of browsing around my options here, if you go to team chemistry, Ji Hwan Bae is our most selfish player, and he has a bad relationship with Andrew McCutchen. And I don't think that's going to benefit us long term, even though I do like him as a player. We'll see how he plays out in the organization. But other than being a left-handed bat, I don't think he offers us a ton that we can't get elsewhere, especially since we just completed those two trades in the last video for Duran and Westberg. And because he has a bad attitude in the game, I think that could hurt the team more long term, and he's just not that special of a player. If you look at last year, only hit .231 over the course of the year. He's fast and he's a good fielder, and those are nice things, but they're also things that we could certainly find elsewhere. We were looking at the international free agents too, and there's one pitcher that I think is going to be, depending on what his scouting report looks like, our main target. It's going to be not Juan Carrillo, Frank Pacias, who doesn't have a traditional four-seam fastball, which seems insane. Here his primary pitch is the curveball, and it doesn't project to be very good. But I think with these movement pitches here, if these develop, he's already got a good sink-split combo. And he doesn't have overpowering speed, which isn't really necessary. If he develops this changeup, I could see him being a really strong finesse pitcher, sort of in the vein of like a Derek Lowe. And I do like these stats, even though he doesn't have like the strongest potential compared to these other guys. I think his makeup seems to be interesting, so we'll probably go in that direction. But let's fast forward a little bit and get some of these scouting reports in and see what these guys like. So we got our scouting report on Whit Merrifield, and he's trending in the correct direction overall. But I don't necessarily think he's going to be the best fit for our organization, even though he does have some positional flexibility. He's another guy we could develop at first base. The fact that he bats right and he's 34 years old doesn't seem like a great combo for me, but we do need someone to be able to sort of replace Brian Reynolds' foothold in our organization in the immediate short term, especially if we're going to plan on winning the division this year, which that's my goal. I'm trying to win the division this year. I'm not going to take my time. I'm going to be aggressive, even though I did two trades that kind of hurt me short term for the benefit of long term. I think that gives me some salary flexibility that can help me short term too here, so we'll check it out. So nothing really new for Jesus Villaret. Let's see if we learned anything new with Julio Rangel. Nothing new. The scouting reports are still pretty low too, so we could run another batch of scouting reports on these guys. If you look, he's still very low. The only thing we learned is he's probably not going to be as good as we thought, and that's probably his pitches. Pitch makeup is a little bit lower, even though all these look like they're plus pitches. Let's check out Juan Bernal. Another very low. No new intel. Frank Pasillas, no new intel. And Isidoro Abanto. Again, still very low, no new intel. So let's run another scouting report on all these guys. I don't know if this actually does anything to help out in the short term, but it's worth a shot, right? What does it hurt? I think it was Verrett was the guy I liked too because he's a switch hitter. No, he is not the switch hitter. Which one was the switch hitter? There was a guy down here that I thought was an intriguing prospect. It was Juan Bernal. And then obviously Jesus Soto is a top switch hitter prospect. And I will actually start by offering him a contract. He's not asking for a lot, so that's an easy decision to make there. And I'll go to that pitcher I was looking for, which is not Jorge Contreras. Frank Pasillas, who is looking for $2.2 million. That's a pretty hefty sum. I'll start at 1.7 and see what he likes. That gives us plenty of opportunity to play around. Fast forward a little bit. You can see I also did some more scouting reports on MLB free agents, and I'm curious what those will look like coming in. Verrett, yeah, we're still very low with all these guys, which makes sense. They're 16-year-olds in like Venezuela and the Dominican Republic, so it would make sense that we don't know a whole lot about them. Continuing very low. Yeah, so nothing really changing on these. Pasillas, yeah. Hall of Fame voting results. Gary Sheffield has been dropped. Blah, 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 blah. James Shields, Tampa Bay Rays legend, has been dropped. Mark Burley, Chicago White Sox legend, and Keith Folk, all dropped. A lot of the guys I voted for, I think, are still hanging in here, though, including Alex Rodriguez. We're going to try and get one of those roid guys into the Hall of Fame. I'm going to do it. That's another one of my goals. We're going to get the roids into the Hall of Fame. Isidoro Abanto, left-handed hitter, contact, and good gap power. He could be a guy. He's not really good at much, though. Unfortunately, let's go back to the batters. So Jesus Soto has actually been grabbed by someone? Or is his potential just garbage now? Jesus Soto, yeah, his potential is just garbage now. Scouting. Interesting. Am I looking at the right scouting here? Oh, there we go. Head scout. Okay, so I was looking at the OSAs instead of my head scouts. Maybe I should be looking at the OSA, actually, given how different they are from my head scout. If we look at the OSA, this guy is a lot better, and he still has good potential either way. Alejandro Valencia, you could play all the infield positions. I don't like that he's a right-handed hitter, but can't win them all. What kind of money is he looking for? $1.4 million. Isidoro Abanto is a guy that both my scout and the OSA really likes a lot. He might be another guy that I try to make an offer for, especially since he's a left-handed hitter. I just don't like that he doesn't really have any defensive versatility to him. That's kind of a red flag to me, but we'll continue. Finished today, we have a personal message. Frank Pacias. Toronto is offering him more money, so we'll go back and offer him a contract. We'll do 2.5, which he does not like. So yeah, we'll just do what he's asking for. That's fine. And any other news? Frank Pacias, we're now his favorite offer. Nothing new. Finished today. Daniel Lucio. We like him a lot more than the OSA. Another guy who's not really good at any position. I think we'll take a pass on him probably, actually. We'll see what our money situation looks like if we go to the international amateurs. We do have some people signing. The big one is Jesus Verrett, signed with the White Sox. I don't think there was anyone really on my list, though, that signed besides Verrett. Oop, messed up. Wrong. Come on. Mail and news. Mail and news. Let's go, guys. Jesus Soto has signed. Ooh, cool. So we got Jesus Soto for not a lot of money, which is good. Let's see what Juan Vega is up to. OSA. OSA hates this guy. Wow. Well, I wouldn't say hates him, but doesn't think he's very good. Not a ton of intel on him either. Finished today. That gives us room. And now our brand new updated scouting report puts him a lot more in line with the OSA. But he still has that home run power. We'll see if he develops. I mean, for $200,000, that's not a huge investment for us if he fails. And if he pans out, I think it's a big win. The Pirates are looking to get JT Brubaker. They're going to send us Elvis Alvarado. Right, yeah, I don't like that trade. I agree with you, Ben Cherington. Meh. We'll reject that. Go back to the international amateurs. I wish there was a way to switch to the OSA on this main screen, but we got to do it by switching there. So Valencia is up here. Isidoro Abanto. Do we want to make an offer to him? There was another guy who was, it was this Juan Bernal guy, right? We're kind of in line with the OSA. The OSA actually likes him a little bit more than our head scout likes him. Let me do one more scouting report on him to see if I want to make that contract offer, because that is a pretty good chunk of money. So Jurickson Profile was one of the guys that I did scout. A legend in my Seattle Mariners franchise that I played back in the day. Doesn't look like we learned a whole lot more about him, but one of the reasons that I did want to look into him is that positional versatility. You can play all three outfield positions as well as first base. Thought that might be something. And he's a switch hitter. Julio Rangel. One of those guys that we're interested in. The OSA thinks he's got way more stuff than we do, but oh, my bad. I wanted to go to scouting report. So not a whole lot. He's just up to low. How much money is Rangel looking for? If I go to all pitchers, 1.6 million. That's not great. I think I just want to focus on making sure that we get Pacias here. Patino is another guy that I liked his diversity of pitches. The OSA actually likes him a little bit more than I do. Maybe I will let me do another scouting report on him. I might throw him some money just because he's not asking a lot, and he's a lefty. And none of these are like great pitches except that change up there. If they develop to their full potential, which I don't think they're going to. I hate that he's a fly ball pitcher, but could be interesting. Again, we're taking flyers on these guys. They're not going to change our organization. Frank Pasilla signed with the Cubs without telling me, or at least I wasn't paying attention. So that's unfortunate. But you can't win them all, right? Which that does open up our ability to sign some other guys if we need to. Brad Miller, another Seattle Mariner legend from my past. Didn't learn a whole lot more about him other than he's even worse than we thought. Again, he's another guy. He hits left, has some positional versatility, but probably not a guy we're going to add to the organization based on that scouting report. Go back to our international amateurs. We have a lot of guys signing now. How much did Pasilla sign for? 4.7. And I must have missed the email that he never sent because that is a lot more than I offered. I'll tell you that much. So let's make this contract offer to Patino here. And I think I'll actually offer the contract to Rangel too. Let me just take a quick look at these guys. I love this nickname too. Copyright. I don't know what's going on there, but that's love the auto generator in here. Fastball. Yeah, let's see if I can get him. He wants 4. Ask for response. Oh, I would be over the salary cap if I offered him a contract. Of course I would. How much was I over by? 60 million? Let's do 4.8. Wants 5. And then that puts me 140 over. So 4.86. Oops, can't do that. 4.86. Ask for response. Does not like that. Well, I don't have the ability to do that, buddy. I'm sorry. Finish today. Did he just sign with someone? I don't remember the guy's name. Ernesto Dana. Yeah, I think this was the guy, right? He signs with Baltimore. Luis Patino still likes me. Chris Nathan has given me more scouting reports. Jaime Candelario is an intriguing option. We got switch hitter. Guy who can play first base for me. Those are kind of the things that I was looking for when I made that contract offer. Michael Brantley's another guy. He can play outfield. Can't play center, though, unfortunately. But he's a guy who could be an immediate replacement for some of the things that Brian Reynolds was offering me. So that's why I did that scouting report on him. And my scout does really like him. And he's not looking for a lot of money. Surprisingly, I'm still kind of fixated on this international free agent thing here. Let me go to the regular free agents, though, and check out Michael Brantley. And I switched to batting stats, but I want to do batting default. Brantley, where are you? I really want to get this Charlie Blackmon scouting report back because I am kind of... That was bizarre. My headset just died randomly for no reason that I can understand other than something happened with my motherboard. Kind of bizarre. Let's see. Aroldis Chapman is still waiting to sign my offer. What a jerk. Where is our man Michael Brantley? Michael Brantley is looking for a 1-year, $6 million contract. That is not bad at all. And if I slot him into my starting lineup, that would move, gives me some positional flexibility for a lot of guys. He would probably be my number 3 hitter, honestly. Easily 2 through 5. I have, looking at my budget, about $6 million to go with here. So let me offer him. I actually do like the idea of bringing him in. What if I do a 1 year 4 or 5? Is he going to absolutely hate that? He does not. Oh, cool. Okay. So we'll start there. Finish today, see what happens. We got a personal message. Jordan Montgomery has signed with me. Perfect. I love that. Aroldis Chapman has signed with me. Perfect. I love that. Frankie Montas has signed with me. Perfect. I love that. Fumiaki Kimura has signed with me. Perfect. I love that. So that is great. We got 4 new Pirates, 4 new Buccaneers on the ship. We're going to find Peter Pan after all, I think. We're going to take him down. We just got to watch out for that crocodile. Dominic Smith. Not really sure how I feel about that. Montas, Pittsburgh announces signing of Kimura. Alright, so perfect. So the Kimura contract was 3 for the first year. I'm just going to plug some numbers into my gigantic, crazy spreadsheet over here. I think I already had these etched in there, so that's good. That still gives me, even if I sign Brantley here, which I'll just throw him in. If I sign him at the 4.5, I still have $20 million, which means I could make a play at Brandon Woodruff, who is a very elite pitcher, and could help me out a lot. Let me see if I do a 4-year. If I do 20 up front, and then I'm sure he's going to hate this, but 17.5, and then we'll do a 5th-year player option at 15 mil. I'll actually make that a team option with a $5 million buyout. Yeah, he did not like that. Okay, so the 6 years, do a team option buyout at 5 million again. And let's get creative with this. We'll start with 20 mil, since that's within my budget, and I'll do another year at 20 mil. Then we can do 17.5, and then 2 at 15, with the last year of that contract being a 20. Let's see what he thinks about that. He does like that, so let's go with it. Again, that's within budget. And that would give me a mighty, and I think that would, if Skenes turns out, that would make that contract expire right around when we have to offer a big contract to Skenes. He'll get at least 3 years at the league minimum. And then he can kind of fill out the Frankie Montas position. So Montgomery, anything new? Aaron Hicks, we have an interesting scouting report on one of the banes of my fantasy baseball. Jung Hoo Lee is another guy who I don't think he is available right now, but I was looking into him because of the center field possibility and sort of replacing Bay in there, and he would be a top guy too, but I don't know how much money I would need to get him because he still has 1 more year in the Korean League in this sim, which is weird, because I never saw him available as a free agent, and in previous saves I did, I thought he was. So you look pretty strong scouting report on him. I'm going to put him on my short list. Oh, he's already on my short list. Perfect. And we will finish today. All right, what has happened? We got a report on Charlie Blackman, and we haven't learned a whole lot about him that we didn't already know. The White Sox have offered us a trade, and it's an interesting one. It includes Jaquan Bay and JT Brubaker. We get Garrett Crochet or Crotchet. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce that. It seems like a pretty bad trade. We do get a good, or seemingly a good, bullpen arm, though he doesn't have a ton of pro experience. He's young. That 2021 year was really good, but 2022 didn't play. My guess is that was a surgery. 2023, he's still developing. Getting rid of Brubaker in his contract could be worthwhile. I still like Brubaker is an option. Let me discuss it and see. I'm sure there's nothing I can do to get this to work, but I believe they got one of those fine folks in the international free agency. I don't even know if I'm allowed to trade to get those guys yet. It's an interesting one. He's a switch hitter. He's only going to play catcher. I'm sure, I mean, if I add this, they're going to be like, that's absurd, right? Yeah. Yeah, Bubba Chandler. Yeah, I don't really like adding any of those guys to that trade, so that seems outrageous. Prospects. Is there anyone that I could add to make this worth it? Sean Burke. My scouting report on him isn't great, and he isn't a great pitcher overall. I mean, let's see what happens if I add. I'm sure this is going to be a no from them, right? Yeah, if you submit that, they'll probably laugh in your face. I agree. Norge Vera. See what they say about that. Make this work now. Yeah, same thing. I want Tamar Johnson or Andy, someone. Yeah. What if I just do him? Just him. Same thing? Yeah. Okay, so that was a dead end. Absolute dead end, which I assumed, but, you know, whatever. On Bernal. This was the switch hitting outfielder, right? So we don't feel too great about him anymore. We go back to international amateurs, all pitchers. Who was the guy that I was looking at? Was it Rangel? I feel like we just lost someone, but I got really sidetracked. Was it Juan Carrillo? Thought Carrillo was the guy we were looking at first, but maybe I'm wrong. Alright, so Julio Rangel. Do a quick look at both of that. Contreras. Don't feel really strongly about either of those. If we go back to batters, Juan the Vega. OSA does not like him. Daniel Luco. OSA doesn't think he's crazy, but look at the power potential. They really like this Alejandro Valencia, and we just don't have a ton of scouting intel on him. How much would I have to pay? 4.6. I don't think I have that within my budget. Bordillo. Yeah, I'll just continue. I feel like I'm not going to have a game changer here. We did get Patino. Perfect. At least we got something out of it. Finished today. I received a personal message. Brandon Woodruff. Michael Brantley. Preseason begins. All right. And I think this is where I get the ability to get my spring training lineup in order. I guess not. No, not yet. Not yet. But let's throw Frankie Montas, Jordan Montgomery, Aroldis Chapman, and Kimura on there, and we'll toss them all on the active roster because it's the preseason and nobody cares. Finished today. And we have, wow, so we did sign Brandon Woodruff, and we did sign Michael Brantley, and our fans like that. So even though we have a penny pinching owner, we're still doing it, and we're still under budget. If I go to it's the manager's office now. I think it's in the org, right? Player payroll 87. I guess that was last year, right? Front office salaries 2024. Ooh, 89. It's a little high for me. That is a lot more than I calculated. I think it's because it's including everyone on my roster, so it's like adding about $5 million extra dollars that isn't actually being spent there. So, wow, Brandon Woodruff added to the team for 20 mil. Frankie Montas at 10. Jordan Montgomery at 10. Brian Hayes at 7. Michael Brantley at 4.5. I do kind of want to get rid of JT Brubaker at this point. I also explored looking into doing a long-term deal with David Bednar, and he, I think, just wants too much money for me right now, but we'll keep that door open. I do like the addition of Kimura as some additional breathing room for that. And yeah, I think I am just, if I get rid of the .72 extra guys that I have on there for my player payroll, I think I am under $80 million, which is what I was looking for. So let me go back to organization. Do I have the ability to make my spring training roster yet? I don't. One thing I did want to, well, I guess I'll get there when I get there. I want to make sure that I have a strong competition for my 5th rotation spot, and possibly my 4th rotation spot. We could just cut loose on JT Brubaker, honestly. It's not a huge deal, but obviously our top 3 guys right now are Woodruff, Montgomery, and Montes. And then Brubaker slots in at our 4th, and we have an open competition for our 5th, who, depending on how spring training goes, Skenes could grab that, though I think I do want to start him in AA at the beginning of the year, unless he has just a lights-out spring training. Finished today. Let's actually see. I did want to check this out. Wrong thing. Team chemistry. Did any of those guys change anything? I guess Frankie Montas and Aroldis Chapman don't help there. Frankie Montas is unmotivated and Aroldis Chapman is outspoken. But everyone's happy, so I'm fine with that for right now. And I do think we're going to be winners, so I don't think we have to worry about them being outspoken or unhappy. And when is my first preseason game here? I thought it happened late. I guess let's jump forward a little bit. Skip ahead since I don't think I'm going to make any more big moves in this offseason here. Brantley, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, we're at 35 out of 28. That's probably why the payroll is as high as it is. Roster selection, yeah, I don't know. That seems like some kind of weird glitch. WCB 2017. 7 years ago. Nailed it. We still have a bunch of free agents out here. The G-Man. Eric Hosmer, he was a guy that I was kind of looking for. Charlie Blackman's still out there. 3.8 mil. Yaidel Hernandez. Feel like, oh, I have a filter on. Clear that filter. I had only left-handed, or sorry, only not right-handed batters up there. I think that was the filter. There were a couple guys that seemed interesting and that they were looking for minor league contracts, and I thought it might be worth taking a flyer on them. Yuli Gurriel is out here, just doing nothing. How much would he want? Yeah, minor league contract for Gurriel. I go to the pitchers. That's what I meant to do there. Hader is still available. Offer contract. Yeah, not looking for a ton of money there. Vladimir Gutierrez, Reynaldo Lopez. The guy who was once very good. Not so much anymore. Let's just continue. We'll get to that spring training day, and then I'll probably end this video, and we'll start episode 3 with our spring training and seeing who's going to win that 5th pitcher position, and see if Ezekiel Duran can be the first baseman that we deserve. Oof. Alright, let's go back to mail and news. Nothing big happening. League news, probably a bunch of weird trades. JD Martinez has signed with the San Francisco Giants for a big old contract. 3 years at 25 mil a year. Interesting. Jordan Hicks. Ooh, interesting. How much was that? A 1-year, $2.36 million deal. Man, I think I got ripped off for Daniel Hudson if Jordan Hicks signed for that little amount of money. Emilio Pagan signed with Atlanta. 1 year, 3.96 mil. Asa. Interesting. I think I like the guys that I got to help my bullpen, though, even though I'm always going to get buyer's remorse. You only have 20, 26, 28. I don't know how big the MLB rosters are anymore. I guess we'll find out as this game goes on. Let's get to spring training begins, and we'll set up our 60-man spring training roster, and then we'll end this video. I've received a proposal. I already don't like the looks of it. Because it involves Baroki. I don't know how to pronounce that. I gotta learn all these guys' names. During the offseason, ball clubs have signed blah, 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 blah. Alright, so let's go. Team home screen, organization. We got our spring training roster. Who is not on the spring training roster? Well, Jason DeLay is not. Paul Skenes is not. Matt Gorski is not. Josh Palacios is not. Johan Oviedo is not. We'll put Joe Perez on there since I like his potential, as well as Malcolm Nunez. And I can throw Andres Alvarez, Josh Bissonnette. We'll see. Check out over here in my double A, Eli Wilson. I don't really feel strongly about any of these other guys now. Do I have like a all prospects one or something? I don't think that's international complex. Get one of those kids, ruin him. Soon Yoon Park. Got a ways to go. Do I want to do that to him? He's only 19. I feel like that if he has a bad spring training, that would really mess him up psychologically. I don't even know if that's a feature of the game. I just think about these things in my head like a big weirdo, how it would affect me in real life. I know it's a game. Alright, so I guess at this point, Tamar Johnson, I feel like I don't need to call him up to spring training yet. He's still got a ways to go. Ah! There we go. So here is my 47. No, I technically don't have to do 60. I'll just get JC Flowers. And yeah, I think that's it. I think I'll stick with 52. I don't really need more than that. I am going to kind of have some position battles there. I like this team. If we go to our lineups, actions, ask for all depth charts and lineups. Going into spring training, we got Triolo at first, O'Neal Cruz at short, Gorski at right, Brantley at left, Sawinski in center. I like all of that. I like DeLay at catcher. Paguero is our second baseman, which is interesting that they chose him over Westberg. Is Westberg even here? Yeah, Westberg's here, but they like Paguero over him. Interesting. Interesting. Daily lineups. Graphical depth chart. We'll do right now every second game. I'm fine with that. Ezekiel Duran is my DH, and I'm actually going to do every second game with Triolo, and I'll do Connor Joe every second game, Jordan Westberg every fourth game, or actually every fifth game. Gorski, Palacios, Duran. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's going to be spring training, so everything's going to be crazy. Let's look at our pitching staff really fast. Actions, clear pitching staff. Ask McCutcheon for staff. Here we go. We got Woodruff, Montas, Montgomery is our top three. Brubaker, Hatch slots into that fifth position. But let's, just for the sake of making this fun, go find Paul Skenes, and boom. All right. So then, really quickly, Bednar, Kimura, Murata, Hudson, Chapman. I'm liking all this. I'm liking all of this. So Hudson, normal usage. All right, cool. So I think that's the end of this video. We'll do spring training in episode 3, and then I think hopefully episode 4 we'll get maybe like the first half of the season over. You guys can comment if you want to see some full games or not, but I'm probably just going to sim through and look at some box scores to see how guys are doing. I might sim the very first game just to get a good idea of some guys. But anyway, hopefully we're in the right direction, and until next time, keep sailing the 7 seas.